Alrighty, we are back. We are back. Prusa, Core, and Bondtech INDX revolutionizing the 3D printing industry. Is that a thing? I'm could be. It could be. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we'll copy that little title thing over here and pop it right into our thing, and we will get rocking. So it is finally true. What we ended up seeing is that Prusa and INDX, the core systems, if I can learn how to spell, Core 1 and Bondtech, they are rocking it. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting little deal here. Again, what Bamboo did, since I would say they're at the top of the heap, they've got a couple of things going for them. Bamboo has inexpensive materials in which they can, build their systems, and they have cheaper labor, so there's that. They put out some really good products. Prusa comes out, they do some really good stuff, and they have been for such a long time. The upgradability of their systems and so on and so forth is really good. George is back, popping in. Yeah, sorry about the car thing. Every time I do the car thing, and it just ends up, it's weird because even though I'm using my phone, it's hooked up to the CarPlay, and when I turn the car off, there goes the audio, but you still get the picture. So I don't understand what the deal is with that. So I apologize for that. That's kind of a weird thing that goes on there. But we're talking about the Prusa Core 1 and how Bondtech is, you're going to have 5 or up to 8 different tool heads, induction coil tool heads for the Core 1. Boom, that is amazing. That's going to be something that's really going to rock the industry. Now, the problem is that Prusa is a little bit expensive on their products, and that's because they're not China. So there's that. But they do high quality stuff. And like I've said in the past, I think they're kind of like a half step behind because they're still, when you still get the menu knob and stuff on the machine, it's kind of like, come on, let's just get rid of that altogether. We don't need that anymore. No throwbacks to the original machines or whatever. I hope you don't mind if I'm eating because I am starving and I got to get my protein in. So I got a pasta, Cajun sausage, chicken, cheesy thing, which is, oh man, that is really good. And it's so good, so good. So anyway, talking about the Bondtech, it looks like it's an incredible piece of kit. Let me kind of cool this down a little bit. Let's just jump right into it. We've got some pictures that I was able to download on their a media kit thing. And there it is in all its glory. So there it is. The Core 1 fitted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads. So you can have 4 spools on one side, 4 spools on the other. And the machine head goes and picks up the tool head, usually, I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's just crazy because you have the induction heating and the nozzle, and that's it. And it connects up to the head. Oh, I got all kinds of weird stuff going on. I really need to get some... I need to upgrade my lights. I've got this janky, super cheap stuff that I got as part of another order of some light stands or whatever, and they just kind of threw in this light, but it's so darn cheap. But it works. Eventually I'll get some other ones. But yeah, imagine having 8 tool heads. It just magically knows through some type of incredible sorcery of, heating up. It's not like the H2C of the Bamboo where it ends up that, has a wireless and it, connects and, with their vortex system and things. The Bondtech with Prusa is, pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. Be able to do 8 colors. Tool changes are going to be 8 seconds. You're going to save a ton on poop, and the speed at which you're going to be able to print is going to be incredible. So that is having me rethink Bamboo. with the H2S. I was thinking about getting that and then kind of waiting for the Vortex system to see how well that does. But I'm not really impressed with that, with the fact that you're still on the H2C. You still have the two heads, and one is going to be able to change with the other tool heads. But really, you're still going to have the retraction for each one of those. So you're going to save some on the poop, but not as much as you're going to be able to save off of this baby here. Problem is, this thing's going to be a little bit more expensive. And when you're looking at the Core 1, which I don't know, that's kind of a wild thing. The larger one, I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different, 4 spools on each side, multicolor, multi-material madness at its best. And then when we take a look at the awesomeness that is, basically what we end up seeing is, boom, the tool head picks up the nozzle and the induction heating part, which is next to massless. It is so insignificant, and they just really reduce things down to its simplest form. And so there's not a lot of mass, not a lot of weight, so that's not going to impede on your speed, which is awesome. This is an incredible system, the thing that Bondtech has ended up doing. So that is incredible. So we got that, and then there's the side of the machine. You're still going to have your wires going up through the top, so you're going to have that little Tupperware pyramid thing on the top of your machine. But you can have multi-material, multi-colors, or if you're just like me and you're just doing the printing out some armor or whatever it is, and you're just doing individual prints, all you're going to be worried about, you could have up to 8 spools. So no more of this, if I run out and, whatever. Just pretty impressive. The definitive solution. 8 in a Core 1. That is crazy. That is totally insane. So let's go ahead and we'll dip on over here. George says, you should look at 3D Printing Nerd's review of the H2C. Okay, I will. Is he, did you mention that there was people that had problems with that? Because I'd seen a couple of other things, and again, it's like if it was the H2S, the single head, that might be a thing to get, but the H2C, that's just not something. And then with the laser and all that other crap, it just didn't really blow my hair back at all. But I'll check that out. Ferris just pops up. Yes, he's back home. I have volume. Yes. I apologize for that. Yeah. And we have pictures. So we just went over a bunch of pictures of stuff, so that is kind of cool. The Bondtech INDX upgrade, the definitive solution for multi-material printing, available in the first quarter next year. They already had like a pre-sale or a pre-order type thing that went on. It is crazy. George talks about the 3D Printing Nerd's review of the H2C shows the bed heating issue. Well, that's not good. Is it like a bed heating issue that can be fixed with firmware, or is it a mechanical problem that is a problem? Because firmware upgrades are a thing, that's not too bad. You expect that with 3D printers, resin or FDM or whatever. I kind of expect that, and after a series of 6-8 months, you'll probably be good to go, unless it's like the Prusa XL, that kind of took a little bit longer, but it's pretty decent. But yeah, if it's a mechanical problem, that's another whole ball of wax there. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. So self-adjusting, super fast, affordable, and scalable for any material, that is just going to be something. George says, mechanical, it is uneven. Oh no. And the input shaping causes problems, or the input shaping cannot help with that. That's not a good thing. I mean, my K2 Plus wasn't flat either. I mean, you kind of get the taco thing, and it was like Even with the adjustment knobs on my K2 Plus, what I ended up doing with the knobs underneath, I adjusted and leveled and all that, and I went from the best I could get was 0.9696, and then I ended up getting that Raman or R3 bed, a graphite bed, and now it's down to 0.236 something or whatever, so 0.3. It has really gotten a lot better. I could probably get it down even more if I sand down the magnetic bed, but with the input shaping, I'm not too worried about that. But wow, yeah, it's not good when it's so uneven that it causes problems. That is the big problem. Yeah. So hopefully it could be fixed with just like a firmware upgrade or with a. Man, I got all kinds of problems that are kind of popping up. Wow. So much going on. So much going on. But yeah, if it's just a firmware thing, then it's just a matter of time. So that wouldn't be too bad. But again, the H2C, trying to throw in all of that stuff with the laser and the engraver and the vinyl cutter, Whoosy plotty pen thing, the whole 9 yards. It's just too much crap in one area. And if you've done laser engraving, you know how. I mean, basically, you got to take apart the machine and to clean it, and even then, there's still areas on there where you wouldn't be able to take apart and get and really clean. So, if the machine goes down, you've lost your 3D printer, you've lost your laser engraver, you lost your pen plotter, you lost your, whatever else that it ends up doing, making coffee for you. You've lost all of that. So there's that possibility. I would rather have a 3D printing machine, have a laser engraver in and of itself and a separate item for whatever, so it doesn't like kill everything. I just don't see that all-in-one thing being something that hobbyists asked for. I think they were trying to be like X-Tool, and it's a shame. So yeah, that's bad if it's going to be something like that. So let's get back to what we're taking a look at and saying new architecture. INDX is a hybrid solution, uses a single smart head that contains all the complex electronics like the induction heater and extruder drive system, which is adjustable for regular filaments or stuff like TPU. That was incredible. Active head picks up lightweight, wireless, and cost-effective passive tools, which is an inductive heating head. No hot ends, wireless tools, low mass, bolt-on upgrade. Wow. And Prusa is good on their upgrades. 8 material printing. Single job or up to 8 filaments. Talk about redundancy in, having some spares on hand. Wow, you could have 8 of them. And whether you do multicolor, multi-material, or if you do single printing, you've got spares on hand. Ultra-fast tool changes, one color to another in seconds. I think it was like 7 or 8 seconds or something like that. When I saw some videos on it, it depends. Induction heating, instant heat up, eliminating stringing and ooze when the tool is parked. More printing, less waste, which is always good. Self-adjusting extruder. A unique self-adjusting tensioner provides flawless, reliable grip on all material from flexibles to composites. That's going to be awesome. Affordable and scalable. 8-tool setup for the first time. I mean, consider the XL, the Prusa XL, and how expensive that thing was for a single head or 2 heads on that thing. It was crazy wicked. Expensive. So the rollout is going to be in 2 stages. Stage 1, the upgrade will be available through Bondtech's website as an upgrade kit for the Core 1. Stage 2, they'll start offering it in Prusa's eShop as well. And they are talking about doing stuff with Voron and stuff like that, with Voron systems. So this is the blog. And I put all these links for this stuff in the description box, so if you want to take a look at that. Tool changer, 8 different ones on the Core 1, which is amazing. Prusa Research and Swedish Bondtech coming together in the holy union of matrimony, and that is just going to be incredible. They did the Prusa XL, talks about that, blah, blah, blah. Printers with 2 switchable nozzles, bamboo. May look efficient and fast on paper, like 8 seconds per nozzle swap, but only if you limit yourself to 2 materials, which is true. And then with the other ones, you have the retraction issues. More filaments, you end up with the same downsides and limits of filament switching systems. Plenty of ways filament swaps take over 40 seconds. This is where we saw a gap. What if you want virtually zero waste and speed of a true tool changer? And again, that is just so beautiful. Just boom, and you're done. Just that quick, one to the other. So induction heating, which is incredible. Dynamic extruder system with self-adjusting tensioning mechanisms for materials. Passive tools are parked in front. They are mechanically simple and most importantly affordable. No wires, no heaters, no thermistors, no electronics. Essentially a filament path and a special nozzle. That is crazy. It's expandable. It means that if you start with 4 tools, adding a 5th, 6th, or 8th, or whatever is incredibly cost effective. Wow. Induction heating can go from cold to hot in a few seconds, cools down. Just incredible. Self-adjusting extruder for any material, which is pretty impressive. Whether it's just wow. Uses a reactive cam mechanism, not just a spring, where the extruder experiences higher back pressure from a high volume print. Drive gear, stronger grip. When printing a soft TPU with low flow, it uses a lighter touch. So it's a smart machine. That is awesome. Smart machines are good. You place 8 filament spools on the core one and load them with their dedicated passive tools. No buffers, no filament, rewinding into an external box, no filament cutting, no filament flushing, no preheating, no complex mechanisms. This is going to be fire. Park the current tool, move, pick up the new one, heat it up to the working temp in a matter of seconds, in as little as 12 seconds, depending on the filament used. You know, on some of the ones, some of the videos I saw, it just took like PLA. It was like 8 seconds, boom, 7-8 seconds or something like that. While we are an exclusive integrator of INDX, Bondtech will also bring it to the Voron 3D printers and make it available for 3D printer modders and hackers, which both our companies love to support. There it is, Voron. I guess I'm going to be taking a look at some Voron systems, larger build area stuff. Incredible, incredible, incredible. And there's the Bondtech site, and oh yeah, just incredible. That is going to be, it's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. INDX. Let's see what pops up on there. Look at that. Look how clean and smooth and minimalistic. And it's just amazing. Just amazing. And the pre-order, which is already gone. I think those things, they put it up there and then boom, it was gone. Be the first to install and use INDX on your 3D printer, tool changer, Prusa, with the latest showcasing on the Prusa Core 1 and Voron Trident. Okay. So we'll have to do a search for that. So, yeah, -1. Incredible, incredible. Founder's deposit, money back guarantee. Why are we doing pre-orders and why the long wait? You reserve today and it'll be about 4 months from now. They're fully developed. Now is the time to prepare manufacturing. For this reason, we need to escalate the release as we scale up production. This isn't a funding issue. It's manufacturing precision reality. Every INDX is manufactured in our factory in Sweden with precision tooling and high quality assembly, not mass produced overseas. And if you've seen some of the videos with, who was it? Grant 3D, Grant 3D Musketeers, him and some other people went over there to their facility. It is just incredible. It is incredible. Scaling manufacturing takes time, which includes tooling lead times, manufacturing, assembly operation, and thorough QA processes. We could go faster by cutting corners, but we're choosing not to. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it, you know. And then, Voron. Man, the Voron Trident. Let's take a look at that thing. That looks, because now I'm kind of like, ooh. Voron Trident. Look at that. For design. Configurator. The configurator is designed a custom bill of materials for your Voron Trident build. Filament, direct feed. Let's do that. Top frame joint you'll be using. We want the best blind joints. Printer size. Let's go 350. If you're going to go big or go home, right? Build volume be 350 with a Z of 250. Okay, I can live with that. Frame is 510 by 500. Sourcing guide. Holy crow. Just go manual gallery. Can't you just buy it and it comes in a box and you put it together? Is that the deal with that thing? CAD manual gallery. I don't know. Can't find that page. I don't know. Am I even on the right thing? Tool heads, extruders. I don't know. I'll have to look more into that. But that is something that looks pretty amazing. So with that system there, with INDX, again, I've been thinking about getting another printer and eventually ramping up and doing the cosplay armor and the stuff, the things that I want to do, and just to have some cool stuff. I mean, that's, you got to admit, that is going to be some cool stuff. So yeah, pretty amazing. That is going to be an interesting little thing there. So bidding a Vordon, tried it with blah blah blah, design, GitHub, 3D printer series. R1, Trident, R1 Pro. Oh, here's something I found at, boom, let's take a look at this. I don't know anything, 3D Printer Boys Bay, I'm not sure. Preferred hot end. Oh, so you can do some stuff, B6 by default. Whatever, so I guess you pick your little different things, standard flow, high flow. I don't know, genuine ships from Czech Republic to the United States. Oh, United States. Still, that's not a bad little gig there. Something like that. Get a Voron. I don't know if this company's any good or not, but just kind of interesting. So yeah, that is going to be wild. George pops up and says, dun-dun-dun, it looks like the Snapmaker kicked everyone in the butt and now they're all desperate to get on board with this type of system. Yeah. Snapmaker came out, but I don't know. They're just not one of the big boys. what I know for sure is that Prusa is like the king of upgradability with their machines. So which I'm wondering, how much is the Core 1L? And we'll take a look at it. The Core 1, oh no, and it's Christmas time, the holidays. So assembled, it's $1,300. As a kit, it's $1,000. So you could save $300 by doing a kit, and you build it and have that infinite and intimate knowledge of your system. Save some money. No extra sheet. We'll just throw on the best for another sheet on there, and yeah, $1,300, $1,339. Well, no extra sheet. Let's just do that. So we're talking about $1,300, maybe $1,000 to $1,300 for that, and that is, what are the specs on that? That's a 256, isn't it? Hot end, blah, 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 blah. 10 minutes, printing, awesomeness, compact. Core 1 is 50% less space, but it delivers 30%, 250 by 220 by 270 for the Core 1 at $1,300. And then if we look at the Core 1L, the large beast, and that is a 300 by 300 by 330 right there for that. So 250, 220, 270, 300. I mean, what are we doing here? Go back. There we go. Core 1. The price, oof, $1,800. Oof. Holy crow, that hurt. $1,800. $1,800. And that's not even including the Bondtech index system on there. And we're talking about, what is it, 300? 100, 200, 300. So it's just like 1 foot, just shy of 1 foot, 1 foot by 1 foot by 330, which is like 13 inches. So 13 and about 13 inches high, and then basically just shy of 1 foot for X and Y. $1,800. Lead time 4 to 5 weeks. And then the index system, how much is that going to be? So, I don't know. George pops up and says, do you lose any space with the tool changer? I don't think so. Based off of, I think the back panel is where it is, or maybe one of the side panels. That would be an interesting little thing to take a look at. Let's see if we can, is there anything on the pictures that we can end up seeing as gallery. Is it on the front? Is it on the back? Seriously, Prusa. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So it actually ends up being on the front. But I haven't seen anything where it says that you lose any build space or build area, because it's so small, and that induction heater part nozzle thingy that they got going on is really, really thin. So, and there's your lead screws on there, all that stuff. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it at all. So it looks like you're going to get that. I haven't seen anybody ask that. That's a really good question. Is there any, but that, you just have to go with what it says on the website. You get that weird little thing on top there, but that's better than my Cajun sausage chicken pasta thing that we got going on here. If we take a look at this picture, we can see there's the gantry. Look how small that is. It's not like big and honking like the K2 Plus or some other things, or Bamboo for that matter. Looks like you still got your CPAP on there, which I think it still has, but this area here is just very minimal with the tools on there. There's the nozzle on there, and it's just really small. I don't know. That's a good question, though. But I'm just going to have to go with it and say you're not going to lose any. There wasn't anything in the blog that talked about losing any size. But again, that's a good question. That is a good question. Because remember, Bamboo came out with the H2S or H2C, and it's like you got the two heads, and it's like, oh, everything's great, and you get this build area, and then it's like, well, not really. Depending on the head that you use, the left one or the right one, you're not going to get as full coverage. So there was a compromise. There was a little bit of finagling of the information on that. So, which is just, I just want one set of numbers. The X, Y, and Z, that's all I want. I don't want it reduced because of this or that, but it doesn't look like that with this index system on Prusa. Because again, it doesn't have a dedicated head and then a tool changing head. It's just tool change, one head. So, and if we look at the Core 1 here, so there's the Core 1L. And if we take a look at this and make it even bigger, it looks like where this upper area is here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Go back. Just go back. That's what happens when you click things. But it looks like this area here is where that rack of index heads are going to be at, or those nozzles are going to be at. So it doesn't look like it's going to impede on the build area. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no, that it will keep the build area. You're not going to run into that Bamboo problem. So, but $1,800 for the Core 1. Oof, I don't know. That makes the boron seem a little bit more, because you're not going to pay that much for a boron, that's for sure. George says, I think if I eventually get another printer, it'll probably be a Cobra S1 Max. I might get another K2 Plus. I mean, because the prices on that are coming down. And, the Cobra S1 Max is pretty good. I've seen some good reviews on that, and people are pleased with it. Nothing crazy. Reality K2 Plus. Let's see what the price on that baby is now. Let's just stay with the US store. And if we look at the K2 Plus combo with that, you're talking $1,200, which isn't bad. But if you just do the printer by itself, and that pops up to $1,000. So the Core 1L you're going to pay $1,800 for that, and you get a smaller build size again. But it's got the cool tech. It'll have the cool index system that you got to buy on top of that. So you're looking at a system with a Core 1L. You're looking at $1,800 for the Core 1L, and then whatever the cost of the index system is for like 5 heads or whatever it is, or 8. Holy crow! I'm wondering how much, what the price is going to be for that. You're probably going to be over $2,000, maybe $2,500. That's a big chunk of change. Holy crow! And then when you look at the K2 Plus, I could just get another one of those. I'm not really interested in getting another AMS or things like that. I could just get larger spools of filament and run that. Or kind of like what you're saying, get the Cobra S1 Max. You just throw a big spool on there and you're good to go. So, but the cool tech, it's the cool tech feature that is tempting me. Oh, really tempting me. I wouldn't go for the Core 1. I would go for the Core 1L. That's for sure. But the price on that, ouch, $1,800. Import duties already included. I wonder if that includes shipping. No, probably not. So you're probably looking at $2,000. Proceed to checkout. Let's see how much that would cost. 96273, Armed Forces Pacific, United States. Let's see what that would end up. Choose a carrier. Nope, that doesn't. It would be California. 96273. Choose a carrier. You can't see a carrier option. Double check to make sure you filled. State is required. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to get that here. Let me try changing to Korea. So it's, I'm trying to figure out the shipping on this thing. So $1,800 for the Core 1. And if we're going to do JK, so it's going to be South Korea. This could be rough. South Korea. What is my address? My zip code. Pretty bad when I don't know my zip code. It's a series of numbers, one after another. What is it? Holy crow. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, okay. So now I know it. 17977. So let's go back here, and then we'll put in the zip code. Choose the carrier. FedEx International is $164. DHL, FedEx $200. So even with the cheapest option, you're going to run up. That's going to be $1,500, $1,600. So why did that change? In price, it went down. So it's 16 instead of 18. It's 1,600, but that also includes the shipping for that. So it's 1,763 is what that would end up being to get that shipped to Korea. And the estimated lead time is going to be 4 to 5 weeks. Yeah, try to convince the wife that that's what I want to do. That's a chunk of change. Holy crow. And then you still have to buy the index system after that. That is some money there. I mean, again, the Core 1, even if I get it for $200 less, getting it sent to Korea, there's that thing. I don't know what it is for the United States. But that's, $1,600. And then you're looking at the index system with 5 heads. And I think I remember seeing some videos talking about how it would end up, the index head, each induction nozzle was like $35 each. So if you start doing the math and you do 35 times 8, which is what they had on the thing, that's $280 right there. And then whatever the other stuff is, I mean, that's 16, 17, 18, almost 1900. You're looking at $2,000, and you're gonna, whatever the gantry system is and the other electronics and the so on and so forth. Yeah, it's gonna be over $2,000. I'm probably gonna say $2,200, $2,300, probably $2,400, somewhere around there. Man, it's going to be an interesting thing. Ferrithus pops up and says, how long, sorry about that. Says, how long have you been living there? We've been here just over 3 years. So we hit 3 years in October, and it's November, so we're like 3 years and a month. So, yeah, it's been good. George says, that's a house payment. Ouch. Yeah, I know, right? That's a lot. Hey, Sultan. Good day, everyone. Good day to you, sir. Yeah. We're talking about 3D printers, and the new INDX system from Bondtech is marrying up with Prusa and their Core 1 and all that stuff. And that's going to be a thing in the first quarter next year. It looks really, really good, but it's going to be really, really expensive as well. So I'm waiting for the reviews to see what the influencers on YouTube have to say. Sultan says, what you're doing is all wizard level stuff to me. I'm just a muggle. I've been itching to try some gunpla myself, but I'm a total noob. I am too. And I still have that big kit that is sitting like right around there. There's the box right. Seriously, there. If you go down, that is the box right there. And I have that big gunpla thing. So one of these days, I'm going to dedicate a day to where I'm going to start building that thing. So start small. That's my advice. Start small, and it can't be that bad. I went big, and I shouldn't have. So yeah. But the 3D printing stuff, it's kind of daunting at first, but now they're making these systems so efficient and so user friendly that it really is easy. So, and hell, if I can do it, I mean, there's probably you could do it really, really well, But the systems are becoming more user friendly. The technology and the things that you can do, it's pretty much just drag a file, put it on there, press print, and boom, you go. So pretty much everything is automated. The leveling and the profiles for your filament is just PLA, click, this is the filament I have. And even some machines have an RFID on the filament, so when you put it into the machine, it automatically picks the correct profile. And so you just got to use the software, put the model on the plate, and hit print, slice and print, you're good to go. So, Excuse me for eating. I know it's rude, but I'm starving. Someone says, might have to pick your brain over email or one of these days if you don't mind. No, I have no problem. We could do a video call or whatever. I mean, I've had people just like, hey, can we chat? Sure, why not? I don't care. But yeah, some cool stuff. Definitely some cool stuff. And the good thing is, we don't have to worry about a time difference. The majority of the people that contact me live in the United States or some other country, and they're asking questions about Korea and how we came to be here and so on and so forth. But most of the people are from the United States, so there's this time difference thing. So that makes it a little inconvenient at times. But since you're here in Korea, yeah, that could be a thing. It's not a problem. So yeah, the Prusa, the Bondtech, and the whole system, and it just looks pretty amazing on what they're gonna end up doing with that. So it is definitely going to be an interesting little thing. So with the Bondtech, again, here's a little thing. There's the picture of it. There's where all the electronics and everything is, and they don't have the CPAP air that goes into there. But yeah, you just have the nozzle and the induction heating, which weighs next to nothing. It's just insane. Just insane. And so, yeah, I mean, that looks with that into the thing and the thing going into the thing together. That tool head is just, and the extruder and all that, it's just minimalistic. That is going to rock. That is going to rock. Ferris says, I think it's a flat 12 hours time difference to New York. Yeah, it could be. I think it is. Usually I get people, for some strange reason, they're either, most of them, well, no, I take that back. I get a fair amount on the West Coast and the East Coast. I've had some people from Texas contact me thinking about retiring to Korea, kind of like what we did. But it's always on the coast for some strange reason. I'm not sure why. So a few people in between, but not too many. But yeah, the time difference isn't really a big deal unless you're trying to deal with a U.S. company or whatever, which isn't too bad, Yeah, it is. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about that and put the links for the Prusa, the Córę 1, the Córę 1L, which is their large build plate, and of course the Bondtech and how that is starting to come out. It'll be really interesting to see the videos of the influencers that get the advanced, machines of this and doing some good reviews and seeing how all this is going to work. So Prusa is known for their quality control and things like that. So, they've had bumps in the past, but they're really good so far. And yeah, it's a thing. Ferris says the coast is the population centers. Makes sense. Yeah. Yep. And then the few people I've had like in the middle, I wouldn't say it was like in the middle, but like around Fort Campbell, Kentucky, around military bases, usually people will work or retire, and then now they're thinking about coming back to Korea. So usually kind of revolves around military bases as well. I had a couple from Texas contact me as well, so that was kind of thing. Ferris says, enjoy your day. I'm trying to save a hoodie I may have just ruined, painting a printed piece in the meantime. Cool. Okay, well, hey, save that hoodie. That's important. It's all about the hoodie. And I think I'm going to finish because I still have a few bites left and I've got to spend some time with the wife, so we're going to do that. But yeah, interesting news. And this is just the first step. So like Bondtech said, they're going to be offering upgrade kits for Vorons. And then what other companies, what other ones are they going to manufacture and have upgrade kits? Creality? That would be cool. Maybe the Creality K2 Plus, maybe. Ooh, could you imagine that? The K2 Plus, low price, get the INDX upgrade kit for that. Oh, that would be awesome. Let's see. Sultan says, man, I envy you how much you get to spend on your hobbies. My wife's basically got a death grip on my wallet, especially now that I'm semi-retired. But you and everyone else have a good one. Yeah, it's I get an allowance, so there's that. But yeah, we kind of pinch some pennies, and I have to be very particular. And so that's why I do a lot of research in what I want to get, because I want to get a good product, buy once, cry once, and then I don't want to end up buying just like junky stuff that will need a lot of work or a lot of repairs or stuff like that. So yeah, I got a decent amount of money for my allowance, but I always wish I had more. Like $1,800 more for the Core 1L. I don't know. But definitely got to look into the Voron systems and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty good. We'll see what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Some good news. Check it out. If you have links or you find reviews on YouTube or anything like that of people doing reviews of the INDX system on the Core 1 or the Core 1L, send them my way. I would love to see those videos, and I'll be keeping my ear to the ground as well. So anyway, with that, we'll end this up. Again, the email address is there if you want to contact me. There's always that. Coffee, link, whatever. Best thing that you could do is like the video. I would really appreciate that. Don't worry about the coffee or anything else. Like the video. Take 2 seconds to click that button. It doesn't take much. CB says, oh, we got an alibi. Sorry, but I want to ask how to call from Japan to the USA. I don't know. You'd have to. I know how you do it in Korea, but you do the country code and then from Japan to the USA. So it's US. So you're going to do your country code, which is like 01. Let's see. Do I actually? I think I might have had. USA. No, yeah. Or do I have that? I thought I had it somewhere. I think it's on some other note that I have. How to call the USA. I don't have that. Must have been on a Word document or something. How to call US from Korea. I don't have it. I don't know. You would probably have to get, do the Grok or, Chat GPT or whatever. You could probably find out how to call from Japan to the USA. That's pretty reliable nowadays. So that's something to look into. I can call, but my provider is really high. Ooh, I don't know. There's some other things you can end up trying is, what is it? I actually have it on my phone, which is, where is it? Talkatone. And I have an app on my phone for Talkatone, and you can get a phone number. You can pay to have a dedicated number, and it's kind of like an internet phone number that you can call the United States, which is inexpensive. Or if you don't, I think they also have free numbers as well. So check out Talkatone. Matter of fact, let me pull that up. Talkatone, which is a mobile app for iOS and Android. Provide free calling and texting over Wi-Fi or cellular data. So yeah, it's an app, and I have used that for. Here it is in the thing. These apps go through the internet, not a cell provider making it free. Yeah. Yep, they absolutely do. And the Talkatone is I use that because I had to have a U.S. Contact phone number for some of our financial stuff that we have, and they just wouldn't accept us having a Korean phone number. So I spent some money to, do that, which is next to nothing. But you can get free talks and free text app and stuff like that with all of this free Wi-Fi calling, and it's a pretty decent little app program thing. So check out Talkatone. There's the link in the thing. Or George says, or you can cheat like me and use Discord. That's true. Some of the features, free phone number, free texting, Wi-Fi and cell data calling, roaming fees, users, whatever, and boom. Yeah. So I got my own dedicated number. You can change your number. You could pay to keep a number. I have a dedicated number like I have, but that's what I end up doing there. So yeah, check out Talkatone. It's definitely something that's worth looking into. If it is an individual, CB ends up saying, "Got it. Can use it on a lap. Can I use it on a laptop?" I don't know. That is a very good question. I wonder. Let me Talkatone. Let me see. Applications, the App Store, and we'll put in Talkatone. And yeah, apparently, boom. We can get it for. Show you right there, Talkatone, App Store, install. Of course, I'll have to do the password and all that stuff. But yeah, apparently passwords, really? Seriously? Okay, we'll have to do that later. But the good news is on Mac, you're able to download that app, and apparently it works on the Mac computer. I don't know if they have one for Windows, but you would have to check that out. Sultan says, I'm sorry, I meant Viber, not Vibe. Typo. Okay. So there's that. And then George ends up, or CB says, I tried Google Voice, but that has issues. Yeah, I always seem to have issues with that as well. And CB says, I have to call banks as well. Yeah, the Talkatone is what I used. But recently, going online for my banks, and especially Navy Federal Credit Union, online they wouldn't be able to take my Korean phone number. But when I went to the branch here at Camp Humphreys, I was able to give them my Korean phone number. So they were able to enter it in somehow. So, and that's, I have that, and but I still have one other financial institution that I have to have a U.S. number. So. That's what I used it for, calling the damn bank in Hong Kong. Yeah, we're a global community now. Come on, banks, get your collective shit together. It's 2025, almost 2026. Accept foreign phone numbers. It's not that hard. Just a few extra digits. It's like routing numbers on banks and stuff like that, and wire transfers. It's a thing these days. It's common now. Okay, so anyway, any last minute questions or anything? Any alibis from anybody? Now's your chance, because I'm going to take a swig. Y'all can press the like button. And I think I got a delivery. CB says, thank you, Sultan. I'll give that a try. Cool. Everybody helping each other out. So, yeah. Good stuff. Okay, already, I think that's it. I think Sultan just hit the head. Everything's cool. We're good to go on that. And we're going to just go ahead and leave with the outro. Again, if you want to contact me, there's an email address. Love to hear from people. I'm retired. So, yeah, I've got some time. But I always answer my emails. So whether it's about being retired in Korea, sharing our experiences, I'm totally up for that. I've had a number of people contact me, send me info on 3D printing and hobby and miniatures and painting, and just finished painting this dude right there. So the Ivor guy did an awesome job on that, if I say so myself. That was a great one. And I've got a larger one that I'm going to do too. So, yeah. Sultan comes back with an alibi and says, but seriously, go back up. But don't blame me if it turns out to be crap for you. Your mileage may vary, so take that into account. Do your own due diligence. Again, with the Talkatone, I haven't had any problems with it. I pay a little bit of a fee to keep the same number, but yeah, it's not a problem. So that's it. Prusa, Bondtech, all of that good stuff. Expensive tech. That's the case. Now the question is, what other companies, 3D printing companies, are going to come after and do induction heating for their systems as well. So we'll see what happens. CB says, no, I won't. He's just going to take it in stride. So we got that. So yeah, leave some comments, leave some likes. I would really appreciate that. And again, if you have any other information on cool 3D printing tech or anything else, shoot it my way, and I would love to take a look at that. So with that, we'll let that go. I'm going to finish up. I've got this and that, and go hug and kiss the wife, and we're just going to have a good day. So we'll leave it at that. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next video. Peace. So many good people.